All right, let's talk about the steps for spring overseeding. I'll just tell you the steps that I've done so far is I turf raked slash dethatched my yard to get out all that dead material and really open up the ground so that the seed can touch the ground. So seed to soil contact is exactly what you need. And then after that, I did an application of Tenacity. It's a pre-emergent slash post-emergent. Tenacity comes in a little bottle like this. This bottle has lasted me, I've had this for 3 seasons now, and it's probably about midway, less than half full now. You don't need a whole lot of this. I think it's 1 teaspoon per 2 gallons of water is kind of the recommended. One thing you probably want to do before in the spring, before you start anything else, I recommend getting a soil test. I did mine last year. I haven't done this yet this year. I haven't applied any fertilizer or anything, so I may do this before I seed today. I'm not sure if I want to do this year or not. I got the results last year, and it kind of helped. I mean, it didn't really change the way that I did anything. I changed up a little bit of fertilizer, but for the most part, everything was pretty spot on. It was pretty good. But if your stuff's out of whack, if your nutrients are out of whack, this is going to tell you. So highly recommend, if you've never done one of these, do one of these in the springtime so you know you can put together a plan to make your lawn look nice. Another thing that I did was a fungicide treatment. So what I did for that though is I put down some azoxystrobin. I think I'm saying that right. This stuff's not cheap, but it's way cheaper to buy this in bulk. I think this cost me $140, maybe something like that, for this bottle. It's a dry powder that you mix in with water. It's water soluble. So this, if you break it down per application, it's not that bad. So I was using Scott's Disease X as well, and last year, and it was costing me close to $20 a bag. I need 2 bags to treat my lawn. So it was costing me almost $40 an application. And when your lawn is super stressed and is literally dying from disease, you are gonna hammer that stuff down. So I spent a ton of money. Biker gangs, watch out guys, they're coming through heavy. So I spent a bunch of money, a lot more money than this, for 3 or 4 applications, and this per application comes out to half of what it would cost me in the long run using Scott's Disease X. So you can do the big box store stuff if you want. I know I'm going to put this down every year, probably twice a year. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this instead of spending more money on a bag. So I did that, mixed it in with propiconazole as well. I got this in the big jug as well. I think it's just more cost effective to go big when you get these products. Again, it's the cost per application. If you just break it down by the math, it's way cheaper to buy in bulk if you're going to continuously put this stuff on your lawn. So I put that down the same time I put the Tenacity down about a week ago. So hopefully that prevents any fungi from spreading through the lawn this year. I'm gonna put it down again in 14 days. If you're not gonna overseed in the spring, you would wanna put down a pre-emergent, and that is, again, buy this stuff in bulk. You don't need this big of a tub. This is insane. This will last me, with my size yard, I have close to 6,000 square foot yard, not big. This will last me like 15 years or something like that. It's insane because I'm only gonna use this twice a year. I'm probably gonna go half the rate that it says each time. So they make smaller ones. I recommend doing that because this stuff lasts forever. You really only need a small amount. Again, this comes in a powder form, little bitty pellets, and it dissolves in the water. This stuff is very yellow and will stain you, so make sure you don't do it on a windy day because it just gets all over. So let's talk about grass seed. So back here in the backyard, so my lawn is made up of blue bank Kentucky bluegrass. Almost all of my yard, the majority of my yard, is blue bank Kentucky bluegrass. The problem with having one cultivar though, with like bluegrass only, is that if a disease comes in and bluegrass is susceptible to that, it's gonna take it out. So I am overseeding this backyard with Barenbrug perennial ryegrass. The reason for that is it's a rhizomatous, if you will, bluegrass, brain fart, perennial ryegrass, thank you. And so it's gonna self-repair just like this bluegrass does, but it's a different cultivar, so that if disease comes in, it's gonna be able to counter that disease because it might not be affected like the bluegrass is. So I'm doing that. I only got 10 pounds of it. So this is what the bag looks like. Yellow, it's coated in a yellow like water saver type coating. It's gonna help it germinate faster. So perennial ryegrass is gonna germinate pretty fast anyway. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing this thing shoot right up, and then I can start mowing as soon as possible. Again, I dethatched, opened the ground up, but I also took my lawn down to 1/2 inch so that I can get a lot of seed to the soil and it doesn't just get lost in the grass blades. So I'm putting this on the backyard. The reason I'm putting it on the backyard is kind of like a test to see how well it blends in with this bluegrass, because I don't think this is a very dark variety. I don't know yet, but I only wanted to put 10 pounds down because I didn't want it to be too crazy difference in color, because this bluegrass is very, very dark. And so if I started mixing this in and it kind of filled in some bare areas, I didn't want to put it on my whole yard. I didn't want to put it on the main stage in the front and have it look like a patchwork quilt there. So experimenting with this on the back. If it does blend pretty well, I will probably mix this in the front as well, but we'll see how this goes as the summer goes along. And in the front, I did just get more Blue Bank Kentucky bluegrass. I got it from Swell Seed Company. It comes in this cool little package. Their packaging looked great. I'm putting about 4 pounds down in about a 1,200 square foot area. Now that is hammering bluegrass in that small area. So 10 pounds of ryegrass in the backyard for about 2,200 square feet, 2,500 square feet. I'm not putting it on my whole backyard, just areas that I know are bad and that I look at all the time. So that's kind of a light overseed for ryegrass. You kind of want to go heavier with ryegrass, but again, I got this off of Amazon. They were out of the 25-pound bag, so I had to get one 10-pound bag, and then they were out of that as well, so I couldn't get any more. And then this is a 5-pound bag. I'm putting 4 pounds of it on the front. Again, you really only need about 1 pound if you're overseeding per 1,000 square feet, and I'm putting 4 pounds on 1,200 square feet. So I really want this to come in thick. I don't think a lot of this is going to survive, just because bluegrass is very sensitive. You got to keep the water on it. I have a DIY irrigation system that I have at my house, but even then, it's probably not going to be enough to make most of this survive. I'm hoping that most of it does and it thickens up, but we'll see. That's the whole test. I've never really spring overseeded before, so I am doing it this year. Last but not least, this sanctuary product. This is going to help with those roots that I have a problem with. I just need the roots to get deep enough to survive the heat of the summer. So I'm here in Indiana, southern Indiana, and it gets hot here, man. It gets real hot. Like, we'll have days in the 90s and 100s and super humid, and this is chocked full of micronutrients and stuff that's going to help the roots grow. thelawnwhisperer.net, I believe, is the website. But yeah, anyway, this stuff, we'll see how this works. I'm going to put this down after I throw the seed down today. So I'll put that in a sprayer. Again, this is a powder form and it breaks down in the water. So with all that said, let's get to this. Let's drop this seed. I'll probably wait and let the grass dry out a little bit. It's still morning time here yet, and it's still a little damp from the dew. So let the sun dry this ground out a little bit, toss this seed down, overspray with this, and call it a day. Keep some water on it. We'll see how it works. So Thanks for joining the channel. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks.